As I mentioned in the previous video, as you're modeling, quite frequently you will select a set of elements, edges, points, or polygons, and then use various tools on that selected set of elements. So your selections have to be precise. So let me demonstrate something here. I'm going to select my live selection tool, and I want to select the stuff behind here. I want to select this entire loop, so I double check. I make sure only select visible elements is disabled. Good. I'm in good shape there, so I happily click, hold, and drag across my object here, and I think, great, I've got everything selected. Pardon me, excuse me, and now I can apply my scale tool. However, if I hold down Option and rotate around here, whoops, I missed that whole line there. Even though I have only select visible elements disabled, my selection was really sloppy. I was not, the way I used the mouse was not good. Let me deselect. Now, yes, I could adjust my camera so I'm looking straight on the object and then sweep across here, and then, life is good. Whoops, but no, I missed one. I missed a couple. I didn't mean to do that, so a teaching moment. Okay, so the moral of the story is that's a really sloppy way to select stuff. Let me go back to frame default here. To make sure you're selecting the elements that you want to select, you have to use the 4 views quite frequently, jumping from the perspective view, which we're looking at here, to the 4 views, which I introduced in a previous video. Just to refresh your memory, to get to the 4 views, there's 2 ways to do it. One way is to come up to the right side of the viewport and click this icon, which I'll do that now. To get back to a view or to enlarge a view, like let's say I want to concentrate on the top view, I would go up to this icon in the top of the viewport of the top view, and the top view will be enlarged. If I want to go back to the 4 views, click the same icon, etc., etc. But an easier way to do it is to use the middle mouse button. So here I am in the perspective view. I'll click the middle mouse button. I go to the 4 view. I hover over any view I want to focus in on. Let's say I want to focus in on the front view. I'll hover over it, middle mouse button, and there it is. To get back to 4 views, middle mouse button. Okay, so what I want to demonstrate here is the best way to make a selection. So if I want to select this entire loop and be absolutely certain that I'm doing it correctly, the best thing to do would be probably this view, right? The right view, or in this case, I could use the front view as well, but I'm going to use the right view. So I'll hover over the right view. This is a simple thing. I could do it right here, but just to show you, I'm going to click middle mouse button, and there's my cylinder on the right view. I'm going to go over to, my selection tool is enabled. I'm going to make sure that only select visible elements is turned off, and I can sweep across here. For this type of selection, it's actually better to use the rectangle selection when you're selecting a line of points like that. So I'll select rectangle selection. I'll come over here and make sure only select visible elements is disabled, and then let me select this one. I'll do a click, hold, drag. Let me go back to my 4 view by hitting the middle mouse button. I'll hover over my perspective view, hold down the Option key and cursor around, and sure enough, all the points are selected. So if I wanted to, scale that in, I could enable the scale tool, and I could, deform the object as I want. Or of course I could, in fact, while I got the 4 views up here, suppose I wanted this like an oval shape, and I only wanted to deform this along the z-axis. Well, it's more logical to go up to the top view, right? And grab the handle for the z-axis and pull it in that way if that's my goal. All right. So as you work in Cinema 4D, do use the middle mouse button to go to the 4 views, jump from view to view, and you'll get a feeling for what's the most logical view to use to to shape these objects. And remember, I just demonstrated points here. The same stuff that you can do with the points that I just demonstrated, you can do with polygons and edges as well.